right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into something truly amazing, the living framework that lets you do, well, everything. From standing tall to running a marathon. We're talking about your skeletal system. And trust me, it's way more incredible than you might think.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? How you can just stand up, walk across the room, maybe run for a bus? What's the hidden architecture making all of that possible?
Well, the answer is this absolutely incredible living framework that's inside you right now, the skeletal system. This is the internal frame that gives your body its form, its shape, and all of its support. It's the silent hero behind every single move you make.
Okay, so let's get into it. What exactly is this living framework, and what's its main job?
At its most basic, the skeletal system is literally the frame that holds you all together. I mean, without it, we'd just be, well, a puddle on the floor, right? It gives us our shape, our structure, and the support we need to move through the world.
So, how many bones make up this amazing structure? Any guesses? It's 206. But here's a really cool fact for you. When we're born, we actually have closer to 300 bones. As we grow up, a bunch of them fuse together to form the super strong frame we have as adults.
And this is where we have to bust a huge myth. We tend to think of skeletons as just these dry old things, right? But that's not true at all. Your bones are alive. They are teeming with living cells, nerves, and blood vessels. And deep inside, there's this jelly-like factory called bone marrow, which is constantly churning out your blood cells. Pretty amazing.
All right, so now that we know what it is, let's take a little tour of the skeleton. We'll start right at the top. First stop on our tour, the skull. Think of it like your body's own personal built-in helmet. And its number one job? To protect the most important and delicate organ you have, your brain.
And get this, that helmet isn't just one solid piece of bone. Nope, it's more like a super complex jigsaw puzzle made of 22 different bones all locked together. That's what makes it so incredibly strong.
Okay, moving down from the skull, we hit the central pillar of the entire body, the backbone, or as you probably know it, the spine. This thing is an absolute marvel of engineering. It's strong enough to hold you up, but it's also flexible enough to let you bend and twist.
So what's the secret to that flexibility? Well, the spine isn't one long, rigid bone. It's actually a stack of 33 smaller bones called vertebrae. It's this design, kind of like a stack of beads, that lets us move with so much agility.
And branching off from that spine, we have the rib cage. This is like a delicate but super effective suit of armor for your most vital organs. It's made of 12 pairs of curved ribs that form a protective shield around your heart and lungs, keeping them safe.
Okay, so we've established we have this strong protective frame made of 206 rigid bones. But that brings up a really interesting question, a bit of a paradox actually.
Yeah, if bones are rigid and they don't bend, how in the world do we bend? How do we twist and dance and run and do all the things we do?
Well, the answer is actually pretty simple and totally brilliant. Joints. Joints are just the points where bones meet. They're like the hinges on a door, allowing our otherwise stiff skeleton to become this incredibly mobile and flexible machine.
But wait, joints are only half the picture. They create the potential for movement, but they don't provide the power. For that, we need to bring in the real power movers of the body. And boy, do we have a lot of them. We have roughly 650 muscles attached to our skeleton. Think of them as all these tiny little engines just waiting for the signal to pull on our bones and get us moving.
Now, these muscles basically come in two flavors. You've got your voluntary muscles. Those are the ones you control, like when you decide to pick something up. Then there are the involuntary muscles. These guys work automatically in the background without you having to think about it at all, like the muscles that keep your food moving through your digestive system.
Okay, here is the most important rule you need to know about how muscles work. They can only pull, they can't push, ever. Because of that, they have to work in pairs to create movement. And the classic example of this is right in your arm with the bicep and the tricep.
So let's walk through it. When you want to lift your arm, your bicep muscle contracts, it gets shorter, and that pulls your arm up. But at the exact same time, its partner, the tricep, has to relax. Then, to lower your arm, they switch jobs. The tricep contracts and pulls, and the bicep relaxes. It's this perfect little dance that makes all of our movements possible.
So we have this absolutely amazing system of bones, joints, and muscles all working together, which leads us to the final and maybe most important question: how do we keep it all strong and healthy?
Well, it really starts with the fuel you put into your body. A healthy diet is absolutely crucial.
You want to make sure you're getting plenty of foods that are good for your bones and muscles, things like milk, eggs, green vegetables, fish, and fruits.
But is a healthy diet really enough? Is that all there is to it? No, there's one more critical piece to this puzzle.
And this is what I want to leave you with. This incredible system, all 206 bones and over 650 muscles, it was built to move. It thrives on action. So the real question for you is, are you giving it the regular exercise it needs to stay strong? Think about it.